Hi everyone, welcome back to another pit wall chat. After, this is the Portimao race.
Yeah, our reaction to this amazing, fantastic, full of thrill race.
We can tell you this, it's not going to be a long episode. we'll do our best.
I just hope this is the most boring one of the season, because I'm not sure I can...
This was a snooze fest of another dimension. It's like 3 overtakes or something, and that was it.
Well, 3 that mattered. A few others with the pit stops and stuff, but...
Yeah, this was... let's hope it's not gonna continue with this. Also, our apologies for not making a qualifying episode yesterday. But nothing really happened, so even though we promised it, we'll do it next time.
Even the quali was boring.
Yeah, I guess the main takeaways that everyone took from there was Ricardo out in Q1 and Vettel to Q3.
Amazing.
And that was the only thing that happened. Other than that, it was back to last season, basically. Bottas, Verstappen, and Hamilton up there.
Yeah, just the slight, Bottas taking pole, and the fact that it was a second row lookout for Red Bull, which is nice.
So yeah, all right, let's spin the ball to you. Your favorite moment from this race? I can't blame you.
After the race, when they did the interviews.
Yeah.
No, well, the 2 overtakes from Hamilton, it still shows how skilled he is, and he's waiting for the right moment, and then he just was almighty, especially when he overtook Bottas. It's like...
That was an aggressive one.
Yeah, but it's as if it went from 200 kilometers per hour to 400 in a second.
Yeah, that's a pretty good overtake.
Seemed super easy.
Yeah. I guess the standout for me was maybe it's at the beginning when maybe when Sainz overtook Perez.
Yeah, there was a tiny bit of action. Well, Max overtook Lewis at some point.
Yeah, Norris was up there as well, so the start was pretty good.
Yeah,
but other than that, nothing really happened.
No.
So it's hard to find the words.
Well, Mick overtook Latifi, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, there was some drama in the first lap as well with Kimi.
Not really drama. It just
drama. It was a safety car for 6 laps, and then
retired all the way to the behind the fence, basically, which was in style at least.
And after that, nothing.
No. Nothing. But Mick overtaking Latifi is good because he's got the worst car. So if he's able to overtake Latifi in a slightly better car, it's good for him, I guess.
Yeah. No, I agree. The shows that Mick is getting to grips with the car a bit.
Yeah, but apparently George struggled a lot with the Williams, so it's probably not the best fit for the track.
Yeah, I think he said on the radio that it's impossible to drive behind other cars, which isn't great when you're a Williams because you're not gonna get that much free air. You're like
for Mercedes, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, for Lewis, that's fine.
So yeah, that was a good overtake. So Russell was struggling. Yuki, I don't think we saw much of at all.
No.
Really, the whole race is kind of anonymous. Ended up in 15th place.
Yeah, no Japanese suburb name or again reminding that he's the youngest one on the grid. Nothing.
No, well, it was a kind of, I wouldn't say unimpressive, but he didn't make his presence known that much in this race. Which I guess happens when it is like this at the top. But it wasn't any fun battles in the midfield or at the back either.
Vettel finished in front of Stroll.
Yeah. I thought it was the other way around, but so I'm wondering if it's correct, but
I'm not gonna put false information. Maybe you only took him in the end. I don't know.
Maybe they started 10th and dropped back 3, and Lance went up 2, I think. I think he started 16th, so not a great.
Oh yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Not a great race for Aston again. Even Lance has some upgrades to the car, even, and they don't seem to be working that
How
great.
did that go?
Yeah, Vettel finishing in front. They gotta rethink.
Such a surprise.
Yeah.
It's like the first positive, like.
They looked good in free practice.
Yeah. When it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, when the rest of the teams aren't doing shit. We can move on to Giovinazzi.
Yeah, well,
pretty okay race for him.
Like we didn't hear him. Sainz, it's so bad. He had a pretty bad strategy because he changed from soft to medium, like on lap 20 something.
Yeah, he did. That's a miscalculation for Ferrari. I feel like to go how long those tires were gonna last.
Yeah, well, they probably wanted to do the undercut on the midfield.
Yeah, they should have gone with the hard, probably. Looking back on it, that's what they did with Charles. Yeah, but Charles
changed his tires like further.
Yeah, but he changed on hard, so that's what I'm saying. Like, probably they're gonna be looking back at this weekend, and it's like, yeah, hard, or a bit later.
Yeah, probably later.
Yeah, but like the undercuts worked, I believe, but.
Yeah, but it was a sitting duck at the end, and he got passed by like.
Yeah, everyone.
4 or 5 cars.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he was running 6th or 7th or something.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good.
I think he was running 7th probably behind Charles, and then I remember we talked about Ricardo could maybe get it.
Must be disappointing because he's doing pretty great in that Ferrari because the car isn't great, but it seems sort of up to speed, even though.
Yeah.
But didn't he qualify Leclerc?
He did.
Yeah, so doing pretty strong. Well, maybe he wasn't soft in.
No, he's been doing better than the other ones that changed teams. So his work ethic is really paying off.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm pretty happy. But yeah, he must be disappointed to be just out of the points.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really his fault. It's just a strategy, really.
Yeah.
Gasly, not much either.
Not much happened to him.
Ricardo, he was kicked out in Q1.
Yeah.
So that's a nice recovery drive from 16th to 9th.
Yeah, ends up with 4 points. No, 2 points.
2 points.
So, yeah, not a bad recovery drive for him.
No.
And yeah.
That was one long stint for him. Like he stayed on those tires for a long time. It was funny the different strategies because, well, obviously it was the first 3/4 if you include Sergio because he was in between, and then it was all of the rest. But then even in the rest, it was too clear strategy where with the ones who wanted to go with the undercut and the other ones who were extending their tires as long as possible.
Yeah.
Stroll, talking about that, Stroll, like he stayed on those soft tires forever.
Yeah, he went quite a long time. So yeah. But in the end, it's like this. I don't know if the strategy really worked, but
Yeah. Alpine was the surprise of the weekend. Well, if there was any surprise, it was Alpine.
Yeah, it's hard to say if it's the upgrades that worked or if the track plus the upgrades is working. Because I don't know, it's weird how big of a step that made. So I feel like the window, like the track, don't.
Maybe. Well, they do have a weird shape compared to the other cars.
Could be something like that.
Yeah.
But
Ocon still ahead of Alonso, which is good for him.
Yeah.
For his future.
Definitely. So yeah, it was a good race. It was some overtakes from Esteban and Alonso. So not I think Alpine will go home and be quite happy with that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that was the best weekend so far for them.
For sure.
Charles, not much.
Not bad, not terrible.
Yeah,
not
I mean,
great.
To be honest, when you have Mercedes and Red Bull with an actual second driver that has more experience than the other ones, for 5th and 6th is sort of what you can hope for when you're not in one of those cars. So
yeah, I agree. That's realistically probably where Ferrari is going to be most of the time.
Yeah, because they said it themselves, like their direct the ones they're looking at are McLaren. So it's McLaren and Ferrari. Who do you think is gonna come on top at the end of the season?
McLaren. They seem like they have a pretty strong package, and once they get the second driver up to speed, then I don't think Ferrari's really gonna be competing with them that much.
But Ricciardo seems to be struggling more with the car, even though today Sainz finished behind. But I blame the strategy. But if both the Ferrari drivers are more up to speed and able to get some points, whilst Ricciardo is catching up, then that could be what makes Ferrari.
It could be, but it's such a long season. So it's like, even if there's like 5th and 6th or 7, 8 points, like if Ferrari gets that consistently, but first half of the season, but McLaren is fighting for podiums the second half, then I still think McLaren is gonna take it.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
But yeah, I guess with this seamless entrance over to Lando, which I'm again pretty impressed with. He was holding back the Ferrari again, because the Ferrari is pretty good on straight speeds, but Lando finished quite a bit ahead of him.
He's doing such a fantastic job. I feel like this season is really just coming alive.
Yeah. It's awesome to see.
It is. I don't know exactly if it's just the experience, he's putting things together, or if it's just the pressure of having Ricciardo, or maybe like having sort of the leader role in the team.
Probably a bit of both. I think it's like his experience is his 3rd year, I think, in F1. So he's been learning quite a bit, and then he has the added pressure with Ricciardo coming in, and like he really needs to be top dog from the get-go. So it's probably, and he said himself in some interviews, like, I've been less on Twitch streaming. I've been focusing more on the driving side this year.
Yeah, it really sounds like his mindset changed. Yeah. He's more in it to win it more than, because before it was talented, obviously, but maybe it looked like he was having a bit more fun than taking it like super seriously.
But I think it might come with the expectations as well, because last year it's like they don't really know where they were. Like they didn't necessarily have the strongest package, but then get 3rd. And with 3rd with the package they had last year, and then coming with Mercedes, I think he's smart enough to see like, okay, we are making the move up to the big dogs, and I can still be silly and be me, but like I have to focus more on this driving thing.
That would make sense.
So I think it just comes with like he sees what kind of position they are in and what his role is to get them one more step up.
Yeah, also if he can finish the season ahead of Ricciardo, doesn't hurt.
Certainly doesn't, but I will say it is quite a big step up to Red Bull and Mercedes. They are in a different league at the moment, but
oh yeah, for sure.
McLaren is on the way though. Like they can be strong next year. They don't,
and everyone can be strong next year. We don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I keep forgetting that it's not the same cars, but anyway.
But yeah, it's sort of like Mercedes versus Red Bull, and then McLaren versus Ferrari, and then the rest, and then Williams, and then Haas. Yeah. So it's like 2 duels, and then the midfield, and then the back markers.
Oh well. 4th, Sergio Perez. Not a super great race, but like he was kind of there where he needed to be.
Yeah, it's just except for the last part, because then he allowed Bottas to get his free pit stop, and like Max went for it as well. But I think he did what he had to do as a second driver, because he was on the second row for the start, and he was like is not yet among the other 3 like they were last year, because they've had their training to like detach themselves from the rest. But he's able to pull himself away from the rest, so he's like in this weird
it's
limbo.
Like a no man's land there. Whereas like last season, for example, with Albon would sort of like fall back.
Yeah, it was in
to the
midfield.
Field. Yeah, but he would be like 4th, 5th, but he would sort of like
not even.
Yeah, it was like his best races. Yeah. It was like when he finished 4th, 5th, 6th, he would be there at the top of the midfield. But even if he started 4th, he wasn't able to keep up with the
Yeah.
three in front, and he would like slowly fall back. Perez can't properly keep up with the guys in front, but he's not falling back to the
Yeah.
midfield, so he ends up in the middle, where he actually can still play a role.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then they weren't able to pit whenever they wanted. Because usually, when it's two Mercedes versus one Red Bull, then one Mercedes go for one pit stop, and then the other one does the opposite. So then Max is sort of trapped.
Mm-hmm.
But now Red Bull has better cards to play with.
Yeah, the Mercedes can do the undercuts as easily, at least, and
because Perez is covering it.
Exactly.
Plus, he led a few laps.
If we talk about Stroll going long on the softs, how about Sergio and the mediums? Went like 50 laps or something.
More, no?
I think he went 53.
Yeah.
52, 53.
Insane, like almost the entire race.
Out of 66. So.
Yeah, I was disappointed though, because when he put on the soft tires, like with literally 51, because he went into the pit with 15 laps to go. I was like, oh, it's gonna be mighty on the track, because the soft is like Red Bull has been loving the soft tires all weekend, so I figured, plus with the less fuel and stuff, would be great. But I was not.
Yeah, he only took the fastest lap by 3/10, which was
but
over
then
Lewis on hards.
Yeah, then it didn't get the fastest lap at all in the end. Bottas took it.
Yeah, well, but he took it. But then when Bottas decided to go for it because he's not going to catch up, then they were like, well, if we're gonna choose.
Yeah,
because,
I would expect he would have had more of a fight for the fastest lap, even though he had his soft tires before.
Yeah, he should have had a faster lap.
Yeah.
But like after that, I think there was too much of the tires taken out.
Yeah.
But then Red Bull decided like, well, if Bottas is going for it, then might as well then Max can have the point and we'll be closer.
Yeah, it's just not as competitive as I was expecting on his soft tires. Maybe he was just too much in the mood of saving his tires, and then when he put on the soft, he stayed in that mood.
Maybe, but it also shows a bit of the struggle that Red Bull had the whole weekend, like with qualifying and stuff. They weren't really that quick. Like Max had one, and that was the leader, which would have been pole, but they weren't that quick all through qualifying either.
Yeah. But so now the big question after this race, the only question after this race, is do you think Mercedes is back on top, or was it the track that was favoring Mercedes over Red Bull?
I think it's the track. I think Mercedes is way closer than they were. Like, they have taken steps for sure. I still think Red Bull might be a tad quicker, but this circuit just doesn't help them that much, and especially with the wind and the elevation. I think it just was more of a track for Mercedes, which it was last year as well.
All right, and do you think Max is still gonna win the season?
I still think so. It's not that many points between them, still.
It's 8, no?
Yeah, well, it's 2-1 to Lewis in victories.
Yeah, 8
and
points.
Yeah, so where did Max go the first race? Max got
they,
second.
They had 1 point difference after the last race, and now Lewis pulled 7 more points.
Yeah.
Therefore,
so
it's 8 points.
So it's not. It's very much a fight still. So
sure. I'm still sticking to my guns. Lewis is gonna win this season.
I feel like it's really sticking to your guns. Like it's a pretty good bet, but yeah, I choose to stick to my guns and say that Max.
Okay, which race are you gonna stop believing?
I think when I'm gonna stop believing.
Lose hope that Max is gonna win.
When the commentators say like it's statistically impossible for him to win. It's like I don't know. Like if he wins next race again, then it's like then they're up there.
Depends where Lewis is, because if consistently when Max wins, Lewis is second with the fastest lap, then is still keeping the lead.
Yeah.
Because today Max, it's a shame that he didn't get the fastest lap point, because like every point counts.
Yeah, but I feel like Lewis has 2 victories and 1 second place now. Max has 1 victory and 2 second place. Like if Max wins, they're basically even.
Except for the
Plus
fastest.
minus fastest lap.
It would be interesting if Bottas or Perez or whoever really feels like it came in between them, so that the next race could be more decisive. Preferably with Max on top, so we can have a bit of drama. But
yeah, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
If I have any feeling whatsoever, then
do you have feelings?
I have feelings. If I have like a hunch, maybe of what I most likely think is going to happen, I think Lewis is going to win the drivers' championship. Red Bull take the constructor. I think that like once Perez gets going, they're a stronger package than Bottas and Lewis. I think.
Yeah.
You're not the biggest Bottas supporter out there.
Well, I like.
Yeah, but not personality wise.
Yeah,
That's not
funny.
Yeah.
I just think that if Mercedes loses the championship as the team, then they're more inclined to change the driver lineup, because it's what we're saying. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But if they're not winning, then it's broken, and then they have to fix it.
Yeah, I agree. If they lose the constructor, then they'll be more inclined to at least look at the options and be like, okay. I don't think it's gonna be like straightforward. I think they're gonna weigh it up quite carefully. But I agree that if they lose the constructor, then it might be bye bye Bottas.
Bye bye Bottas.
Oh well, I think we did pretty good covering this race.
Well, we found stuff to talk about.
Yeah, just going through the list. So yeah.
Not the most interesting race. Hopefully the worst, so that we can have more exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, next one is Barcelona. We will definitely, if the qualifying is interesting, do a qualifying episode.
Definitely maybe.
Definitely maybe. If it's boring, we might not.
Well, we don't want to waste anyone's time, but hopefully it's more interesting than this one.
And more than anything, we don't want to waste our own time. So
more than anything.
More than anything.
Sure.
Right. I think we'll say goodbye there.
Enjoy your week, and I hope you're excited for the double header.
Yes.
Well, the second half of the double header.
Second half. Right. See you next time.
Bye.